So I have a lot to say about this Project Q leak. First off, this is confirmed to be what this device looks like. It looks like an Android tablet. It's running Android, but it gives you the PlayStation DualSense features, not on the go, but in your home. So if somebody comes over, this situation that is constantly put out there, like I'm watching something, I'm playing a video game on the big television and the family wants to watch something, so what do? Most people have multiple televisions in their house. So let's say that you're in this position. Well, you can pull out your PlayStation Q, leave your PlayStation 5 turned on, obviously, because you need to stream from the PlayStation 5 over the home network. So let's assume, again, that it's a Wi-Fi device, which I'm assuming it is. I don't have all the specs in front of me. I'm just saying it's probably Wi-Fi. You're connected to that home network. You're streaming your PlayStation 5 game while your family watches whatever it is they want to watch, and you sit there or you lay down upstairs or you're on the toilet. I don't know. But you're streaming PlayStation video games, first party or third party, to this device. It's running an Android operating system. So at what point does this device become different than just using any device that you have already, like a phone, and instead of being tethered to your home network, actually being able to go anywhere and play first or third party games, a la Microsoft and XCloud? These are incredibly similar ideas. The difference here is that a hardware company is making a specific piece of hardware for you to purchase because, they're a hardware company. Just like Microsoft is creating these services that you're going to subscribe to because they're a software company, Sony wants you to buy a piece of hardware. Now, that piece of hardware is essentially pushing the idea of streaming video games. Just because you're sitting in your house and your PlayStation 5 is turned on. By the way, you need a PlayStation 5 and you need a Project Q for these things to work. A la, we're a hardware company, let's make people buy hardware. However, do you think it's a stretch for this device at some point to just become a streaming device? Take it anywhere with you, sign into Sony's alternative to XCloud, and stream Sony first party and all your third party games. Essentially, when that happens, it is Project XCloud minus the idea of using any device that you already have, which, by the way, I understand, because let's go back to the idea that Sony is a hardware company. They're going to create hardware and get you to purchase it. However, the idea behind Project Q is validating Microsoft and Xbox's future when it comes to pushing this idea of streaming games on the go. We don't need to manufacture discs. We don't need to do much of anything, especially now. We don't even need to deliver games digitally. We just stream them to you. You can buy a piece of hardware, a proprietary piece of hardware made by a hardware company like Sony, or you can use the phone that you have in your pocket, which we all have, or you can use the tablet, or you can use the PC, or you can use anything that you have. The end result is that streaming is being validated by Sony now. Even though, you can sit here and you can say, well, I'm in my home and Project Q is just this device that tethers to my PlayStation 5. So if people are in my house, I can go upstairs, leave my PlayStation 5 on and continue my game and also get that haptic feedback in that device because they're a hardware company. They're making hardware. There has to be something that gets you to adopt that piece of hardware besides the idea of just streaming. So what do? They give you that DualSense option, those features that are going to make it quote unquote different when you're using it. However, this device cannot just stay tethered to your home. You're going to buy this for $200, $300, however much it is, and the use case is simply connected in your home? Of course not. Sony is going to push this, and the more adoption that this gets, the greater adoption streaming will get. Sony will have a streaming app like they do now, they will push first and third party into that streaming app. And Project Q, if it's successful, will lead to more adoption of streaming video games, validating Microsoft and Xbox's XCloud strategy. The difference is Microsoft everywhere, any device, because they're a service-based company. Sony only on their hardware that they're creating, but still streaming video games. Let's take this one step further. Let's say that Project Q is an unmitigated success. Millions of devices are sold. People have chosen this device as their on-the-go device for console-quality games. And then they push it one step further to streaming everything away from your home network, somehow, maybe a new version of this. And if it's the largest adopted device for that kind of entertainment, what do they need to keep it being successful? Services that give you the option to stream games that are great. And who is building that? Game Pass, Activision, Blizzard, King, Bethesda. All of a sudden, the idea of Call of Duty on the go streamed to your most adopted hardware device, the Project Q, seems pretty plausible, doesn't it? So, Sony with the Project Q is absolutely pushing the ideas and the strategy that Microsoft and Xbox have been behind now for quite some time. Now, of course, I'm not saying that the home console is somehow going away. The PlayStation 5 is the most successful. People want PlayStation 5s. They're buying them like crazy. Spider-Man 2 custom PlayStation 5 is going to fly off the shelves. However, when you see something like this from Sony, the ideas and the sentiment behind streaming video games is validated, whether or not you like it or not. And Microsoft and Xbox are probably extremely happy, because if this device is successful, you're gonna need a service. People are gonna want it. They're going to demand it. And whoever has the content is ultimately the one that comes out on top.